I have my puzzling stuff yet. The reason is I'm asking my group if they want to see my puzzles that I've been doing, or if they want me to go to my normal lessons of puzzles. My puzzles are rating 2300, so I wasn't sure exactly if my group wanted to see those ones or if they wanted me to continue with my normal. So I'm waiting. I'm asking them right now, as I share and stuff. Just like I'm actually pretty enjoy. I actually do really enjoy doing these. You guys can always comment and stuff. Like the live comments don't really show up on my video, but if you're not watching it live and you want to comment something, I'm perfectly happy with that. Like if you want to tell me something, or maybe tell me that you want to see something a little different, or you enjoy what you're seeing and you want more of the same thing, let me know, because I really do want to know if you guys are actually enjoying what is going on. Um, yeah, because I'm definitely looking for more feedback, and I'm also looking for more people as well. Looking for basically, so if you guys want to share this to different groups, um, especially even like different groups like chat.com groups and so forth, explain that I try to do my best to teach people who are beginners like basic ideas that make it easier to understand, because that's basically what I'm going for. My goal is to find ways to make um, the puzzles and so forth easy as possible to understand, that you know that'd be easier to learn, because I had to teach it myself, and it was a bit more complicated for me to try to figure stuff out, and it was pretty difficult, so I found a way to make it more easy, and I'm hoping that it will like basically propel people that learn from me even more than I did for myself. That's pretty much what I'm hoping, because like I said, for me, I overcomplicated a lot of it when I was teaching myself, and it actually made it harder than it probably should have been. So, all right, I'm pretty much almost done sharing to the groups and stuff. So, I should be on my way very soon. Um, this is the last post right here. So, oh wow, how to fix it? I put more puzzles live with a question mark in my group. So, I did not mean to do that. That's for sure. So, all right. Well, no one is on right now, and no one answered me. Um, I guess I made a mistake. I before doing this video, I shared two of my older videos to the group, and I explained that they were my older videos. I found them from last year. They were on Facebook. They weren't actually in on YouTube per se. And I guess they're watching those ones. I just wanted. I was just surprised, and I'm like, hey, I've got these videos and so forth, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and get started. I'll just do my actual puzzles, because I kind of want to do my puzzles, so that's what I'm doing. Let's get started with that. All right, it's gonna be a lot more difficult than the puzzle rush. So black to move. First thing, most of my pieces seem kind of in a very state. Um, Definitely an awkward defensive state. So let's see here. Checks, captures, threats. Uh, let's see here. I don't see. There's definitely no checks. That's for sure. Captures. I don't see anything to capture. I have a fork actually. Right here's a threat. So I gotta look at the puzzle. So basically, yeah, if he tries to, let's say, deflect by calling check, because usually when you fork a piece, if one can move and capture something, or if one can move and call check, you can get they can get out of it, depending on the type of fork it is and where the location or king is and so forth. So just keep that in mind when your pieces are forked. Um, Sometimes all hope isn't lost. Sometimes you can capture something, and sometimes you can call a check and get out of it. So these are very important to remember. So this is a fork, and this right here, he would just lose the rook. I'll take it, and then he can move the queen somewhere. So, and if he takes this way, and I take back, yeah, he just moved the rook. So yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay. Now, if I capture now, what's going to happen is I'm getting checkmated. So instead of defending the piece, he countered the fork by making a possible checkmate. So it's important for like obviously not capture immediately. Look at what my opponent is doing, and in this case, the fork led to a possible checkmate. So now I got to figure out what the continuation is. So yeah, so it was a fork and a checkmate threat. Yeah, and for these puzzles that we defend sometimes, like this right here, I don't really see too much of, but I have actually lost a game or two because of it. So that was super important. Um, let's see here, what to do, what to do. I'm actually a tiny bit confused because I know this right here will lead to a possible. Oh, it's not checkmate. It would be checkmate if I couldn't defend, but because the pawn's gone, my queen can actually come up and defend. It's actually fine. So yeah, then my queen can defend. My queen couldn't come up. Oh, I should have maybe took more time on that move, but I'm gonna see if it can still the solution. I don't see why that's more important or better. Oh, the queen could come down and card check. So like if my queen was here and my rook was an a6 and queen was f6, I guess you can card check. But I don't know. I don't see too much of the difference, to be honest. Um, all right, so I'll go to the next one. Wait to move, wait to move. Checks, captures, threats. Let's see here. Let's see here. I know this is a check, but it's not going to do much. I'm wondering if I'm supposed to kick the knight out first. But even if I kick the knight out, this check, the king's only going to be able to move up. So definitely not as easy for sure. So checks, captures, and threats. Let's see. Yeah. The only check I see right here is this, but it's bad. The only capture I see is really capturing a knight or capturing the knight. Knight on d4, knight on g8. The only threat I can see right now is c3. So I got to go over those in my head a little bit. I guess c3 might be the answer because right now he actually, yeah, I think c3 might be the answer, but I'm not entirely sure where the knight would move because this is all guarded. So actually, I think a part of me flipped. I'm just going to win the knight, but okay, he's attacking the bishop. But if I take the knight and he takes the bishop, I just take the knight too. So Okay. Checks, captures, and threats. See here. I'm trying to do my puzzles a little harder for me. The other ones are super easy and simple, but I got as far as I could. I never actually made it to 2400 in puzzles. My highest was like 2350 maybe. So these are actually difficult for me. Well, I kind of wanted to share the ones that are difficult for me. I got kind of bored of doing the easy ones for myself, and I kind of want to show ones that are kind of hard. All right, checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. I mean, this is a capture and a check. We can defend. Card check. Yeah, he can't move the king out. I will take the rook. So he would have to move back to defend. Check again. Block. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, the knight here would actually be helpful. I think, I don't know, I'm thinking this is the answer. And then just basically move the queen back and forth. Bring the knight in to attack the rook again. Forcing him to go somewhere. Yeah, I think that's the answer. I could be wrong. Because I can also pin the rook right now. But I think I'm supposed to call check first and then check just to make him waste a move. Okay. That's a free rook. I thought he would move king to c2, to be honest. Well, that's right. Queen of c2 will lose this rook. So he's moving over here to lose that one. Wait, that's what I'm sorry. I thought he would the rook back, so he wouldn't do that. That's what I thought. All right. Well, I guess that works. A little confused because I thought he would defend differently. I didn't think I'd just win the rook like that. But maybe that would be a mate. Maybe that's why he lost the rook. Maybe if he didn't, it would have been mate. Checks, captures, and threats. White to move. This is a capture and a check. Not sure where the king will go, and I don't see a flop with the queen. The queen can either also take this pawn here. So like if I take this pawn right now, he can just move to f8 defending the e7 pawn. And I kind of don't like the that maneuver. So I'm assuming it might be queen takes e7 first, and then possibly taking here after. I don't see a way for him to take my king immediately. And he might move the rook over, but I think this is the first move. Okay. Apparently this attack was a lot stronger than I thought it would be, because I didn't see too much, but all right. Try for an attacking move. The continuations, like I said, for me are not very clear usually at this point. So I definitely need to practice them until they become comfortable and I get used to the ideas of it, to be honest. All right, checks, captures, threats. This is I'm not sure. This is a capture, but I'm not sure exactly what to do after that. I mean, obviously, if I let him capture, it's going to be a free bishop. He has a rook and a bishop attacking my bishop, and I have one defender. So I think I have to answer to that. If I look at the rest of the board to make sure I'm not being threatened checkmated. So yeah, there's no checkmate threat against. So I'm just gonna have to deal with the bishop, and the only way to deal with it is to attack, to take, or move back. If I move back, his knight can take, and then I can take, but then I'd be making my queen pinned. To unpin it, I had to like call a check over here or something. But he also moves bishop over, so a little weird. I think I should take, and after he takes back, maybe the knight move, or just taking this pawn here, winning a pawn. But that kind of opens this up for the rook against my king. It's a free pawn, but I don't know if that's a good free pawn. If I take, he takes. I take. I kind of will be winning the exchange, but then he also can move his rook here to double attack my bishop. So I'll lose the bishop, I think, actually. I might even lose the bishop. Because I can't go here to defend it because he can just take it with his knight. And then if I take it, I will still lose the bishop. So I think I lose the bishop if I do that. I think I lose the bishop. This is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. It's a lot more nerve-wracking doing this versus some other videos. Just because I'm a little unsure, but I wanted to show the ones that I'm at and where it was difficult for me. I feel like this is the move, and if he takes back, I take back with the queen. But let's say I take the pawn, takes back. Yeah, I already know I can't take this pawn here earlier because of the rook move and pinning it to the queen. So it's not a free pawn. I have to check that out each time. I also can move knight to g6, attacking the rook, forcing it to go up. Or he can take it with his knight. I take attacking his bishop. And then that would be a different story if I capture this way. So I think it's the knight move. It prevents the okay, it's not. Let's see the solution. Okay, at a double attack against queen and piece. Okay, I missed. All right. Check captures threat. So basically, after each move, go over checks capture threats again. So, all right, checks capture threats. I can actually take this. It looks like a free knight. If he takes back and I win it, looks like a free knight. I don't see any checks that are available that are good. This is only check with the queen, but you can take it with the bishop from the queen here. So it looks like I just win a knight. I'm gonna go ahead. There's a lot more than okay, so let's see if I take here and he takes back and I take. It looks like a free knight. I actually take my rook. And that'd be check. So actually I lose a piece in that in the variation that I thought was the answer. So I definitely see why that wasn't now. Oh, that kicked me out. Go back to it. How do I go back to it? Oh, it's going back on. Okay. Move. Going back to it. All right, so capture and threats. That'll be a check. The king can move up. That can be a check. If he moves a pawn, that will be checkmate, I believe. It's like one of those zigzag things. Okay, good. All right, checks, captures, and threats. La-di-la-di-la. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. I mean, the only check I see are these moves, and all of them look really bad. Those are all bad. Taking the pawn is bad because the queen can just take. These are bad because obviously he can just take with the rook, and this is bad because he can just take with the rook. I don't have a good follow-up. So the checks are bad. I'm capturing. If I capture the queen, he'll take back with the rook. And I don't see a follow-up. So it's not capturing, it's not check. Look for threats. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if I'm supposed to find a way to attack with the pawns. I have two center pawns, and they look kind of nice to me. So let's see here. If I were to move up and he take, I take, he can attack the pawn. I can defend the pawn. He can't attack it again because this pawn will take it. So if he were to take, I like it. I can even move the rook over to attack the king, and I kind of like it. I like this move. So I went over if he takes the queen. So if he doesn't take the queen, then what? I can still move my bishop over to g6 to attack the rook and stuff. So I think this is the answer. No? All right, let's see why. That's it? Oh, okay, that's not it. Okay. Me threatening checkmate 1. The pawn can't move to help him defend. And if he moves over 1, then check. Yeah, they don't show the full puzzle because he can move over to g8. And then if I call check this way, he can move to one of these squares. Yeah, probably here. Well, actually, I will win a piece. Basically, it says move here. He goes over. I call check. He would, if he move up, the bishop would call check, and I can win the rook. But it's not checkmate. Unless he moves over 1, and I call the rook to block off the rook thing. Yeah, then it'll be checkmate next move. Yeah, they should show the whole thing. That's okay. Black to move. Checks, captures, and threats. This is a check. Let's see here. These are blocked off by the queen. So he has one move. He only can go to g3. So basically, check, he goes to g3. Then what? I know his pawn's being threatened. This bishop move will defend the pawn and also be attacking the f3 pawn, which will allow the queen to come in for another check, forcing the king back even more. To me, looks promising. Check, king to g3, bishop to d5, attacking the f3 pawn. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not 100% sure, though. Trade queens. Queen to e5. If I go queen to e5, he can just go queen to c6 and call check. He also can take my my queen with the rook. So yeah, so I don't like that. I think it's queen to f1 check, move up, and then bishop to d5 to defend. But then he also can take the bishop with the rook. And if I take back, I don't know. I kind of like it, but I don't see it as a clear win. I'm gonna move. See, okay. Yeah, if I take too long, normally in my own games, I actually if I'm not really sure, I'll take a lot longer time. But I want to okay. Okay. That was a bishop check. So I looked at one check, but not the other. That was my fault. Yeah. I'm zoning in too much on one possibility. So I'm gonna have to start looking at more. Like for example, I noticed this immediately. And if you move over one, it's not checkmate because it's nice defending the h2. But let's see something here. Check, he moves over. If I take the rook, W check, he'll take it with the knight, and then I'll call check, and I can queen. I'll lose my queen, but I want to make sure it's good. I take the rook, he takes my queen, I call check, I win the queen, but he also takes my piece. So it's two minor pieces for a whole piece. So I don't think that's really that good, is it? Take the rook. Check. Take. But I also get the knight as well. So I gotta worry about this threat in addition to everything else. So I'm gonna go over it one more time because I've seen something right after. Let me see one more time because I seen one thing right after this that didn't calculate earlier. Check. Move back. Take the queen. He can take it with the knight. That's the problem. Because then if I take here, he can just call check. Wait, I actually have this piece here. So actually, I think I do win the exchange after all this. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, and if he takes it, okay. They just go to the next puzzle. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. I know it's a little bit tricky, but these are the ones that I'm trying to learn. It's hard for me to visualize, so me doing these puzzles is probably as difficult as you doing for me as you doing your puzzles at your level, wherever you're at for your levels. So checks, captures, and threats. Now, I normally learn to do this in these positions. Knight to g4, attacking the bishop. But in this case, the bishop and the knight is attacking this bishop. So that would be bad. I would just lose a piece. So I'm wondering if I'm supposed to take here. And he takes back. And after that, oh, if I take here and he takes back, I have b5 forking the pieces. If I try to play b5 now, he can just take my bishop. But if I first capture and him capture back, then I have b5 forking his pieces. So I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I should capture the queen. I don't think my answer is to move somewheres and let him just take my pawn and win the game. So I don't have to think about that one. So now we gotta look at end game stuff. Let's see end game stuff. If I were to move the pawn up, the king would move over. If I would make a queen, he would take. I'm not entirely sure if I can block him out. No, I cannot. So let's see here. Okay, so if I try to move my pawn all the way up, I can't block him out. But if I move one square up, I can. Basically, if I go e5 or even c5, I'm not sure which one would be better, but let's say I go c5 and he do a move. I think I would be able to block him out to where I can attack his back pawns, the back of the chain. That's one of the chess principles, anyways, is always find a way to attack the base of the pawn chain. My only thing is I don't know if I should go e5 or c5 first, and if there's a difference and which one's better. So if I don't figure that out before moving, I basically guess. And then if I guess wrong, there's a 50-50 chance. So let's see here. If I go here, but if I go to c5, yeah, he can't go back to defend because I would just make a queen. So I think it's if I go e5, he doesn't have to take. He can start messing with these pawns. But if I go c5 and he goes, that kind of forces him to take. On e5, he doesn't have to take. Does he can? Well, actually, he can move back. Actually, he would have to. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a difference. I don't see a difference. I don't know if you guys see a difference. I do not see a difference here. So I'm going to go for centralizing the king. Okay, so just answer. Okay, so it was c6. So it was a 50-50 first move. All right. Definitely tricky. Okay, so here, if I take the rook, first off, my queen's under attack. So, like, my first thing I notice is I can pin it, but when I realize he can attack me, if I pin, I get attacked. If I attack the rook right now, call it check, and he were to take, I can actually my bishop here, call it check, have a move anywhere, and I win the queen. So basically, I'm trading a rook for a queen. So just like a step. All right. Not gonna waste any time if I see the answer. I'm like, all right, checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and I want to know if you guys prefer me to do more advanced puzzles like these ones that are difficult for me, or if you guys would prefer me doing the other ones that are very simple and explaining checks, captures, and threats. Definitely let me know which one you prefer so I can know what you guys would actually do more often of. All right, checks, captures, and threats. I don't see a check besides rook to f8. He can just take, and I don't see a follow up immediately. So that's no good. The only capture I see is taking the bishop, which I mean the knight with the queen, which is also bad. So I got to find threats that are possible. This is also bad. It's not going to work. So I got to look for threats. See if I can threaten something here. The only threat I see is moving bishop to e4, attacking the knight. And if he takes the pawn, I take the knight. And if he were to take something, I would have won this pawn. But I'll be sacking a pawn for a pawn. So it's not actually winning something. At first, I'm trying to see if I can win this center pawn, but I can't. I don't see a checkmate. And I guess it's not winning this pawn here because he'll win his pawn in return. Do that. This here defends the pawn. I'm not sure if I can move in shortly after. That sucks. There was a lot more people on, and then I asked which they would prefer. There was 4 or 5 people on, and I asked what people prefer me to do, and then everyone left. So, except for one person. I'm gonna do a hint. It's the queen. I don't see any good queen moves. He'll take. He'll take. He'll take. He will take. He will take. He'll take. Pawn take. Knight will take. Knight will take. And knight will take. Okay, so what in the world would it be? Yeah, I didn't like that one. Wait to move. I think it's moving the pawn up. If you were to call it check, I can move away. If you try to go back, I can move back. Call it check. I can. Yeah, because eventually I think I can just take this pawn. I want to make sure I can. So does the pawn. Yeah, I definitely want to keep my rook here. Oh, that was simple. All right. Checks, captures, threats. Black to move. Black to move. Take. Okay, this is first. Looks like the answer. Nope. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna get going. Almost everyone left. This is my first time trying to do puzzles at my rating. They're a bit difficult for me myself. Sometimes I do pretty well, sometimes I don't. This time I kind of went downhill a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to go over them this way and ask questions and talk. I appreciate it, Bongani, for some input and stuff. I do appreciate it. Few people were on, and I kind of asked questions. I kind of wanted to see if I could interact a little bit more with everybody. Normally, I do the other puzzles. I actually can just do them right now. This is what I normally do. This is actually a lot easier. They're super basic, and I try to go over the basics puzzles for everybody. So I guess I can do that real quick. Checks, captures, and threats. Black to move. This will be check. He'll block, and that'll be checkmate. The king can't move up because this king has everything covered. Checks, captures, threats. This will be check. He's completely blocked in by his pawns, so he can't move. The knight will move. That'll be checkmate in 2. Checks, captures, threats. This will be check, but he can take it, so that's not the answer. This check, however, he can't take because bishop. So this would be check. The king will move over. It looks like a free piece. Okay, it's not. That was not the answer. Oh, it was a double check and checkmate because the bishop and the rook. Okay, I was supposed to move up 1 square. All right, white to move. This is the check. He's blocked in by his own pawns. Rook will move back, and that'll be checkmate. Checks, captures, threats. Be check and checkmate, protected by the knight, and he can't move here because the knight. He can't move here because the rook. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. Checks, captures, and threats. This is a check, and it's checkmate. He can't move over because of bishop. Check, captures, threats. This will be a check. He can't protect his bishop. He has to move over, and that would be winning the bishop. Checks, captures, threats. I can move back to call check. He's blocked in by his own pawns. So he can move bishop, move in queen, take queen. That'll be checkmate. Normally it's a good idea to move one of your pawns. It's called creating luft or luff. So, all right, checks, captures, threats. White to move. This is a check. Knight has nowhere to go, so it's checkmate. Checks, captures, threats. This is check. He can take. Check, take. What about this check? Yeah. If he takes, that'll be mate. If he moves over 1, that'll be take, and that'll be mate. So either way. Blocking by his own pawns again. Checks, captures, threats. This is checkmate and 1. Checks, captures, threats. This is check. And I take. And that'll be mate. Because he's blocked in by his own pawns again. Check, capture threats. Check, move over, check, take, mate. He's blocked in by his pawns again. So checks, captures threats. Check, also checkmate. Can't move because the queen. Checks, captures threats. I actually can win the bishop right now, but he'll take the rook. So if I take the rook first and he takes back, I win the bishop. All right, checks, captures threats. If I take, he takes. That'll be a check. He blocks. I take the rook, so I win a piece. Checks, captures threats. This loses. We just win it. So that's not a good check. This isn't a good check because you take it. This check, however, forces the king to move over. Check. He can move over again. Check. He can move back. Check. He can move over. Not entirely sure what the idea is here, but let's see. He moved the other way. Check. He can move back. No? Okay. Wasn't entirely sure what the deal with that one is. It was a little weird to me. Black to move. Check. And you can come up. I think this is mate. Checks, captures threats. This is check. He'll move up. Check. He'll move down. That'll be mate. Checks, captures threats. Check. Move over. Check. Move over. But you can't move over because the bishop. So that'll be mate. Checks, captures threats. I'm not sure. Checks, captures threats. We go check. Okay. Maybe check. He'll move over. I'll still have the bishop here. Didn't realize that. What if this is the first move? Yeah. Okay. I guess not. All right. Well, I guess I'm good to go now. I just wanted to do a whole bunch of puzzles really quickly after feeling a little embarrassed, showing off that, trying to show my game, so how difficult my puzzles are. So I kind of just went to do these pretty quickly. I guess I'll be going now. No. All right. Just like, subscribe, and if you're watching this after this live, like, please let me know what you prefer and why. Do you want to see harder puzzles where I make mistakes and it's difficult for me, or would you like the other ones that are very easy for me and I can just say checkmate or just capture? Just let me know. I really like feedback. I actually kind of want feedback because it's if you tell me what you prefer and why and stuff, and I try to do my best to accommodate, then that would let me know so I can pretty much be more helpful and basically do more of what you guys would prefer since my target audience is people who are under 1,000, and I really don't know a lot of what you guys do prefer. So, all right, thank you.